Hey people of planet Earth, as promised 2 weeks ago, here's a short but very comprehensive guide on replacing vanilla weapons in Fallout 4. Someone already made a written guide that I will link in the description, and following that is enough to get the job done, but there are some things it neglects to mention. So follow along with me as I replace Fallout 4's laser musket with this Mosin Nagant I found on the Nexus. Substituting an energy weapon for a ballistic weapon might sound like an odd choice, but I'm doing it for demonstration purposes. My first tip is, before you try your hand at making your own weapon replacer, check if someone else has already made the exact replacer you want, and use their version instead of making your own whenever possible. Work smarter, not harder. But failing that, before you make a replacer, you'll want to spawn in the weapon to test it and make certain that it works properly in third person and in power armor. Remember, you're replacing a vanilla weapon. That means NPCs are going to use it, and you want them to be able to fight back and not look ridiculous. Once you've confirmed the weapon is worth using, close the game and load the weapon's ESP in Fallout 4 Edit. I'm assuming you already have Fallout 4 Edit installed and linked to your mod manager. If you don't, there are other guides on how to do that. Once Fallout 4 Edit is open, find the ESP of the mod you want to use and take a look within. If the mod has any quest or leveled list records, you'll want to delete those immediately, because by replacing a vanilla weapon, you've removed the need to inject anything into leveled lists. Some mods don't feature leveled list integration at all, in which case you won't need to delete any records. After you've dealt with that, making the replacer is as easy as pie. In fact, it's a lot easier than making pie. Just select the weapon you're using as a replacer, right-click on the editor ID in the right panel, click Edit, and type in the editor ID of the vanilla weapon you're going to replace. Most vanilla weapon editor IDs can be found in the article linked in the description. If it's not there, you can definitely find the editor ID you're looking for on the Fallout 4 wiki. After changing the weapon's editor ID, you next need to change its form ID. Right-click on the weapon record and select Change Form ID. Enter the form ID of the vanilla weapon you're replacing. Again, you can find this in the article or on the Fallout 4 wiki. And that's literally it. You're done. Looking at the right panel, you'll notice your modded ESP is overwriting Fallout4.esm, and that's exactly what you want. Now let's get in game and test the replacer out. As you can see, there's now a Mosin Nagant on the ground next to this dead Minuteman instead of a laser musket. But unfortunately, the ammo lying next to him is still fusion cells, which obviously are not compatible with this rifle. So here's my second tip. Only replace weapons with other weapons that use the exact same ammo type to avoid small headaches like this. Luckily, when NPCs spawn with a weapon, they automatically get assigned the correct ammo, assuming that's been set up properly in the weapon record, so you don't have to worry about enemies spawning with the wrong ammo and being unable to fire their weapons. It's just ammo placed in the world that will look strange. Getting into the Museum of Freedom, we see something odd. Preston Garvey is still using a laser musket rather than a Mosin Nagant. That's because companions carry their own special weapons that are completely separate from the base weapon. Preston is now the only man in the Commonwealth with a laser musket, which kind of makes it seem like an improvised weapon Sturgis built for him. Honestly, I wouldn't touch companion weapons myself, but if you want your companion weapons replaced as well, here's how you do it. Make a copy of your replacer weapon, and change the editor ID to the editor ID of the companion weapon you're trying to replace. Copy it into your replacer ESP. Change the form ID to match the vanilla companion's weapon as well. Now, in the right panel, add the record flag non-playable so you can't use the weapon. Scroll down and click and drag the ammo type for the weapon over from the vanilla record, and do the same for the leveled list for NPC additional ammo. This will give the companion infinite invisible ammo for their gun, like they're supposed to have. Now, when we meet Preston, he actually has a Mosin Nagant. He still shoots laser beams during the opening quest though, because those are scripted and not actually fired from his weapon. Additionally, his conversation animations during this quest don't work because they were designed for the laser musket exclusively. At least the conversation still plays without the game crashing or freezing. I'm always amazed by Fallout 4's resilience to being messed with. Let's move on to the topic of unique weapons. Unique weapons present some difficulty for us because they try to stick vanilla weapon attachments onto a modded weapon, which results in the weapon being somewhat broken in appearance. It's not a big issue, but unfortunately there's no easy way to fix it without breaking compatibility with other replacers or putting in way more effort than I'd like to. I think it's best to simply ignore the problem. Unique weapons are rare, and the visual bug can be easily fixed in-game by removing all attachments from the weapon at a workbench. The last problem you might have is with super mutants. Super mutants, unlike most creatures, make use of the same weapons humans do, but because Bethesda was lazy, they didn't create super mutant animations for most weapons. You'll never see a super mutant holding a 10mm pistol, for example. Modders are equally lazy and also have no interest in making super mutant animations. If you replace a weapon that super mutants use with a weapon that they have no animations for, super mutants will charge at you with their fists or melee weapons instead of using their guns, and that's probably not something you want to see. The best way I've found to fix this issue is using the super mutant weaponry mod. This mod gives super mutants their own cobbled together guns. Just place it at the bottom of your load order and you won't have to worry about super mutants being unable to use their firearms, since they'll exclusively wield their own bespoke armaments now. Anyways, that's all I have to say on this topic. I hope you found this video informative. Making weapon replacers for Fallout 4 is really not that hard. You could probably swap out every weapon in the game for something more your style within just a few hours, if you wanted to. Give it a try. Toodles!